Hey folks, welcome back. This is Joel, and in this video we will start, or in fact we'll continue with our SD-WAN discussion. Um, the agenda for this video is that we will start by installing the vEdges, right? In the previous video we already installed the controllers. We have also discussed how the whole SD-WAN works and all of that. So we will go about installing the vEdges in this one. I've already installed the BR1, which you see on the screen, right? So I'm going to install only the BR2 in this video, right? So I myself wanted to test if EU works well, so I went about installing the BR1 earlier in the day. So in this video you'll just see me installing the BR2 edge router. All right, so yeah, I think we are good. The topology is pretty straightforward, like how we have discussed before. So that's fine, and I think we don't have to go through over that. The first thing which I want to discuss in this video is the one of the prerequisite for this lab is going to be having a smart account. So this is the smart account. So I obviously can't show you the my personal smart account because it has some private information. So I'm gonna show you some of the screenshots. So you go down to software.cisco.com, you get this particular view, right? And um, you just scroll down over here, and so I mean this is the whole screen, right? So you scroll down and you go to the that particular section which I'm highlighting. You go down to you can request a new smart account, by talking to your Cisco representative. I'm just going to click on manage smart account because I already have one. So under the manage smart accounts, you can create a lot of virtual accounts, right, where your actual devices are going to be tied to. Account properties is going to have information about your account. I'm obviously not going to show you that because that's going to have all my credentials and information, which I don't want to show it out on the internet. You go down on the virtual account and you can create any number of virtual accounts which are going to be tied to your bundle of devices, right? So that is something which you have to do, create virtual accounts. Again, if you already have a smart account, that's going to be like a piece of cake. Then go back to the screen, go back to software.cisco.com, go back to the page and click on plug and play connect, right? Because that's where we'll be onboarding our devices. So on there you will basically find a view of this sort, right, where you have to kind of first go about adding a profile, right? Add a profile up there, and then you have the devices section as well. So first you go down to controller profiles. You click on the add profile. I think I have a screenshot for that as well. So this is how it appears. So under the three options, you select on vBond, right? So once you do that, and then you go about just clicking next, right? You basically end up getting your vBond profile. My profile is called SD-WAN lab. Then go down to your devices, and add the devices. If you want to add physical devices, go down to add devices. If you want to add virtual devices, in my case we are adding vEdges and CSR 1000V, so we are basically going to go about adding software devices, right? So once you create add the devices section, you again have to just put in some basic information like your organization name and all of that, which we have done earlier. So you click on all of that, wait for a minute, and all of the devices will appear as provisioned over here, uh, and you will be good to start, right? So once this is done, this task is done, you go back to your profile, vBond profile, and you can download the um, so once this provisioning is completed, you can go back to the vBond profile and you can like download the serial file, right? So you can go back to the vBond profile and download a serial file which you get here, which will be visible on the right hand side. You will have an option to download it, and that vBond profile, right, the serial file will have a list of all the devices which has been provisioned for you, and that you can use. You will have to come and upload in your vManage dashboard, which I will show in a minute, for your lab to work properly, right? So that's something which I wanted to show. Now probably we can go back to the vManage dashboard, right? Earlier you would have probably seen the vManage, vBond and vSmart appearing here, and you also have a vEdge appearing now because like I said, I've already installed one vEdge, the branch number 1, branch 101, right? Something which I've already installed. uh, so let's go down to devices, right? So here upon the devices, right here upon the devices, you will basically, how did I get this list of devices? You get this only after uploading, the WAN edge list, right? So I talked about how you can download that serial file. So once you download that serial file, you will have to come here and kind of upload it, using that upload WAN edge list uh, button, right? So here you come and upload it. Once you upload that list, all these WAN edges will be visible for you. Okay. So you can see one, I've already used one of the WAN edge, so that's why it is appearing with the host name, the system IP, and all of that is being synced up there, which is good. We will basically end up using the second one for our discussion now, right? Uh, so that is that. What else do I want to show you guys here? You can also kind of like um, bootstrap configuration, like if you want to automate the bring up process of the edges, you also have an option to do that. The serial number which I highlighted, is basically going to be the serial number associated with your certificate, and once you onboard the vEdge, the token is going to be replaced by that, right? So just to confirm, we are doing BR2 now. Let's go back to BR2, the CLI. Let's try to log in. And what else? Let's check the vBond also. I just want to show you guys how the list of v edges appear over here. So orchestrator v, I think valid v edges, if I'm not wrong, valid edges, or uh, did I miss something? Okay, valid v edges, my bad. So there you go. So these are all the v edges which are available for me to use. You can see the first one has already been used, right? So you can see the serial number appearing there. For rest of them, the serial number is a huge chunk of digits, right? So as and when we provision each of these in my network, it just gets converted into the serial number associated with the certificate of that vEdge. So let's go back and let's go to settings, because I want to show you something here as well before we actually start configuring the edge. So under the settings, if you see, there is a section called WAN Edge Cloud Certificate Authorization, right? Make sure that is an automated state, because I think starting with the new versions of vManage or the whole SD-WAN, we have this provision to make use of our vManage himself as the CA server, right? As the CA authority, right? So instead of having an external enterprise, you can still use the manual way of doing it. You can click on the edit and you can switch it to manual, but automated is a easier way, right? You don't have to generate that CSR and all of that, which we did in the previous for controllers, right? We generated a CSR, then we took that CSR request and we signed it using my CA server, enterprise CA server, and then we went back to the devices and put it. So all of that step is kind of removed, because vManage can act as the CA server for the edges, CA authority for the edges. Now this is the generate bootstrap configuration which I was talking about. If you want to automate your stuff, you can do it using this. You can come and click, you can see all the configuration gets automatically created for you, the bootstrap configuration. So you can like directly deploy this on a cloud and using this particular file. But we are going to obviously go the manual way for this particular vEdge at least, because I want to show you all the steps involved. Sorry, this is vBond, my bad. Switch to vEdge here. Let's do the basic configuration like we have done before, right? Nothing very complicated. putting in the host name. I think it's VR2. Organization name, put in that. Site ID is 102. The vBond IP is important. Let's commit it and let's go back and check the interface configuration. You see we have gigabit Ethernet 0 being used. Then we're going to go and configure the interface VPN 0. Let's put in an IP address. Pretty straightforward config, right? What we have done in the earlier controllers as well. So it's going to be the same thing, nothing fancy. 1.102.2 is going to be my address for this interface. Tunnel interface is needed, allow interface all, allow service all, because it has to form all the control connections with the vSmart. Let's put the default gateway as my R1 internet router. Let's commit it. Oh, I think I forgot the system name, so no, sorry, let's system IP. Let's put in that. So it's going to be 102, I believe. Yeah, 102. There you go, committing it. Looks good. What do we do next? Let's see if we have connectivity to my R1. Yep, my default gateway is good. My vManage, yep, that looks good. Let's check to vBond. Yes, that's good as well. And vSmart. So once we have checked the connectivity, now we are good to go with the next process, which is mainly with the certificates. So let's go to the let's go here and let's go to the Win SCP. Let's create a new session to my vEdge, the BR2 SFTP session, because we have to upload the root certificate, right? The CA will act, the vManage will act as a root CA, which is good, but we still need the root certificate to be imported on my vEdge. So that's an extra step. So this is the root certificate which I talk about, right? Which we used in the previous lab as well. I'm using a local CA server, so that's why that is the root certificate. I'm gonna say yes, accept it, and let's upload it. I think it's somewhere over here. Yep, I can see it. Let's drag it. Yep, that's been uploaded, which is pretty good. And now the next is we have to basically go and request it. All right, so let's install this certificate which we just now imported. Install, it should be in that home folder, admin, and I believe yep, so that's there. Let's install it. Yep, that's installed successfully. Great. Let's check if the vManage basically did all the CSR part of it, signing the um, signing the certificate. Yeah, so there you go. I have my signed certificate issued by the vManage now, which is good. Let's go and check if we have the readiness. See, you can see when we check the readiness of this particular node, it's not yet ready. You can see there is no certificate validity. That the reason is because we have, if you go to if you go to vManage, you can see here we have not activated this particular node. That is why it still says it's not ready, right? So we have to activate this particular node using this particular chassis number and the token number. So let's do that now. Let's request the vEdge-cloud, activate chassis number. The chassis number we have to copy it from the, either you get this information from vbound or you can get it from here. Let's put the token. So once we put the token, we will have to again do the same thing, go back and copy the token from there. Awesome, that looks good. Now let's wait for this particular node to get activated. Oh, that's weird. Should have activated by now. Let me see what would have gone wrong. That's weird. Let me try again. Okay, that's not expected. That's weird. Did I screw up somewhere? Let me just pause the video for a minute, just try to troubleshoot this. Okay, so the issue was pretty simple. I had earlier clicked on the bootstrap configuration, right? Generate bootstrap. So it had created the bootstrap configuration, and as a result, I could not provision it by using the token. So I kind of went and just decommissioned the vEdge. So I just basically that button, right? You just have to go and click that and decommission the vEdge, basically resetting the vEdge, and as a result, you will be issued a new token. So now we'll have to do the same process again. Basically, when I say same process, I have to run that same command which we ran earlier. Uh, Basically, the request, whatever I ran, right? The request command to activate the vEdge call. Yeah, this one. So um, the chassis is going to remain same, I believe. Yep, the chassis number I still see to be the same, but I have a feeling the token number would have changed. So we will have to run that with the new token number. Let's do that. So let's copy the new token number which got generated, right? So this obviously will not have this if you're doing it on your lab, because like I said, I just clicked on that generate bootstrap config, and as a result, it had already generated the bootstrap. So once it generates the bootstrap, you can't redo the process, right? So I had to decommission the vEdge and do it again. Okay, so probably takes a bit of time. It's still not applicable. Maybe let's wait for a second. Okay, let's refresh this. Okay, let's, while that refreshes, let's come here. um, yep, now you see it's installed. So yeah, it takes a bit of time, maybe a few seconds or a minute or so, and it's valid now. It looks good. We can also check here. See here also, you can see the serial number reflecting. The hexadecimal serial number is reflecting here, and that's a good sign. So when it's activated, the token number is replaced by the serial number, right? So we have activated two Let's also check the certificate. I want to show you where you can see the hexadecimal number. Here you see, if you see the show certificate installed, you can see the hexadecimal number. That's the same number which you see up here, right? So that's how you can validate that this particular license, or this particular, yeah, this basically that license basically belongs to this BR2. Great, so we've got that covered. Let's move on to the last part. So that's that looks good. Let's move to the last part of the discussion here. That looks good. Okay, so that's the serial number. Let me see what else do we have. Uh, this is done, the decommissioning and all of, I've talked about that. Is there anything else? Let me just recollect. So these are the token numbers which appear to be unused. We'll probably use it in the next set of labs. Okay, so let's go back here and do some verification. So show control, let's check the show control connections, right? So you can see the connections to vSmart, vBond, and vManage now. All are DTLS connections, right? This will appear only after your vEdge has been activated. You can see in the vBond as well, the previous output had only one of the vEdge activated, but now if you run the same output again, you will see there will be two devices which are activated, 1 and 2, right? So we have two vEdges up and running. We can also see the control connections here. You can see there are two vEdges. Just remember, in this video we just activated one vEdge, but there was another vEdge which I had activated way before this video, so that's why you see two of them. We did not activate two vEdges in this video. And we'll also go down to my dashboard to see. You can see there are two vEdges appearing here, the control connections as well. Let's click on this 3. It's taking a bit of time. It's very resource intensive. I say this particular lab needs a lot of RAM, so let's see again. Yep, there you go. So we have two branches and two branch edges, and we have the vSmart. Great, guys. So I think we have finished what we set out to do. So this is what we did. We enabled the BR2. We have already done the controllers in the previous lab. We just enabled BR2. So we have a pretty good understanding now about how to onboard your SD-WAN setup, right? Thanks for watching, guys, and do tune in for more videos in the future. Thanks again.